This morning, I decided to buckle down and start a project which had been on my to-do list for some time, which was to review and rework one of my workshops. This had been on the list for about 6 months, and in my mind it was a big job, one which would take a lot of thought and time. The way to tackle it, I thought, was to bring the 10-minute rule into play. The 10-minute rule is a really useful tool when faced with projects that you're putting off, whether the job looks too big, too difficult, you don't know where to start, or whatever your particular reason is. The 10-minute rule is quite simple. You promise yourself that you will work on the project for 10 very focused minutes, no less. That's it. So what use is that, you might ask? Well, 10 minutes is nicely manageable and not too alarming. It's also surprising what you can do in 10 very focused minutes. Make a key telephone call, or devise a game plan, identify resources needed, or just get clear on exactly what the project is. Sometimes it can also be long enough to see that the project isn't really relevant to what you need to do. With this rule, generally, one of two things happens. If you work on the project for the promised 10 minutes and then stop, you'll feel good because you will have kept your word with yourself. You will have started the project, so now it's a project in progress rather than that thing you're going to get around to one day. When you come back to the project, even if it's only for another promised 10 minutes, there's 10 minutes less to do. On the other hand, when you get to the end of the 10 minutes, the freedom of reaching that goal might just spur you on to do a little longer on the project, knowing now that you can stop any time you want. And anyway, you might as well carry on now that you've started. Either way, the project gets started and you no longer feel such a burden about procrastinating. You might even find, like I did this morning, that the project that you've been putting off because it would take so much thought and time is actually very straightforward and only takes 20 minutes.